This is the 2017 Ural Gear Up that I ride, and we've got the sidecar removed. So this is the sidecar side, and we've already taken the cylinder head apart, and you can see what I did to that cylinder. Ugh. So it just got too hot. One of the things we think that happened, though, is since I have the winch from Caliber Creations on the side, is that it's interfering with the airflow that's coming on this side, and it's not getting enough cooling on this side of the motor, because the other side was just fine. It didn't overheat, but it's the one that isn't interfered with. There's nothing over here for the wind to hit, and it was just fine. The compression's fine, and we may take it apart just to look at it since the engine got so hot, see if there was any damage, but so far it seems to be fine.
Yeah.
Got it?
Yep.
Nice.
Get out of Dodge. Possibly. So this is where the other thing in the 2019s are the newer ones. These tubes are larger, so that where this has been rubbing in there. So I'm going to put a new one on one side. So these are right.
Oh, these holes are larger now in this
Yes.
this piece we put on? Oh.
That's part of the 1920s. See these gaskets, see these holes right here?
Mm-hmm.
That used to scrape, and they had a lot of problem with that until they came up with that fix for the alignment pin. Voila.
And did you do a valve adjustment?
Oh yeah, but not till you first got to torque the heads.
Yeah. When is the valve adjustment? When is it called for?
When?
No, how many miles actually?
Normally we do it at the first service, and we do another one. Then after that, it's every 10,000 kilometers, 5,000 miles,
Oh wow.
6,000 miles.
So they're a lot easier than Ducati bikes.
Oh yeah.
They would take about not half hour, but it would take you.
Yeah, these take no time whatsoever.
Yeah.
Okay.
How many miles you got on the truck?
5,000.
Something and change.
There you go.
And a good torque wrench is that snap-on being rebuilt again.
They rebuilding it for you?
Mm-hmm. I've got a digital one.
I regret not buying a digital torque wrench. I bought a cheap one. Digital is just a lot better.
Actually, I've got a digital one, another one now in my backup, but it's still a click stop, but it adjusts digital. And this other one actually
Gives you a digital readout as you go or something?
it gives you digital readout. It also makes vibration and so on. Just it's meant for racing industry. So where you're in the pits and it's noisy.
Mm-hmm. Interesting.
Yeah, those.
Do you have to What's it called?
Because they use the same thing over here on the rockers.
Is this a new one?
Mm-hmm.
Was the other one damaged?
Yeah, they're rubbing on the smaller hole.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow.
Wow, that's a part.
Sure glad he's got all these parts.
Me too.
Like, probably in 2 months when your Ducati valve guides come.
Actually, some of this stuff was used to be in the old days. Similar situation,
Yeah.
which is when I became a dealer, I made a parts order for Imois, saying, okay, I want to buy a bunch of stuff. And I went through the catalog. I really didn't know what I need, but I could see where things that, as well as before I became a dealer, and I was doing all my traveling for cross country, I would go to a Ural dealer in Florida, Texas, wherever the hell I was apt to be at. And when I had a odd weekend stuff, and I'd duck in and I'd identify myself. I said, hey, I'm a Ural dealer or Ural owner. It was long before I was a dealer. And out of California, just visiting, not really interested in buying a bike. But, you know, I just wanted to say hi. And I also wanted to, while I'm here, let's order some, I want to get some parts. So I'd order spark plugs, oil filters, things that all the dealers should have. And then I'd try to get one exotic, like a rear brake switch or something that was kind of not off the shelf, just to see what, if these guys had them. Some of these guys, the guy that used to be in Sacramento, Bob's American, I went in there. I was actually driving through, so my bike was on a trailer for a change, and I was on my way to a Ural get-together in the Midwest. And I walk in the door, and he says, "You didn't have an appointment to bring that in?" That was his first comment to me. "You know, what's the matter?" And I go, "Okay, not happy with you, guy." And
What are you sitting it at?
38.
38.
Actually. Oh, I remember how to do it. This one sets this way.
I almost bought that one. That's the Home Depot one.
Yeah, it's
all the digital ones are pretty decent, but you know, of course, a nice snap-on, $250 or more.
yeah.
Worth every penny.
I've got one of those, but
the digital ones will beep beep beep. It's
Yep.
so awesome. It's so satisfying.
and then they've also got the angled torque spec as well. I'm just taking them up in grades, that's all.
Very smart. Dad taught me that. I didn't know that. I just ripped about several bolts. .38 foot-pounds.
38's what we're going to do at the end. voila. Right. Then you got to adjust the valves. Ready yet?
So,
That's not it.
If you ever take these hoses off individually, you notice this has a short and that has a longer side there. Whereas and the other is to figure out where, when you put it together, assume you're going to be taking it apart again. So,
Yep, get the bands the right orientation.
so on this side, it's different. It's the second gen EFI that screwed the pooch for everybody. Knock your socks off.
Okay.
Yeah.
So 40,000.
40,000. And by anti-seize. This is steel going into aluminum. You can always helicoil and fix them, but it doesn't hurt to
Plan ahead.
See this right here, it don't fit. Whereas if we go down to about 28, 30, 32. Yeah, barely a 30.
And it needs to be a 40.
Yep. So you get a little hotter spark because it has to jump further. Oh, you're running 6s, okay. A little bit hotter. So no biggie. Depending on this guy here, I have some special machine down sockets so that this fits nice and clean. Some of these have a little more shoulder right here on the corner, and if you used a regular 13,
It's going to hit.
yeah, it doesn't go on very well. Quite fit in. So that means you're ending up using an open end wrench. Whereas with this goes right over there, boom, no problem. Okay. And put some extra force on it. So. This means that the exhaust intake valve is starting to open. Okay. So this guy here is loose. So he's not on any of the lobes. So you got to kind of know where the lobes are. You don't want to be just off back and forth. Okay. So once this comes to the top, this means that the piston is on its way down. It's trying to suck in the charge. So the exhaust valve should be all over. It's done, closed up. Yeah. Right. So we can do this one. Typically, so that's kind of snug right there. That's a 5/1000. And I'm not too concerned about how accurate I have to be at this point, because we're going to do this one more time after we heat cycle it a couple of times and retorque the heads. So it's not too tight. The proper numbers that they want is 4/1000. So having a tight 5, okay, 4,000 fits nice and clean. So. Okay, this guy's going, boom, she's sloppy. And you will find different schools of thought on this, but it depends on how well you understand lobes in the back lobes and of the cam and such.
So you loosen it up, then you move the...
Well, first I check it, period, normally, but in this case...
We know we got to do it anyway,
yeah.
Right?
So...
But then you loosen up, then you get it sloppy.
Then I get it to where it fits, and then I'm holding it where it fits with this wrench and then locking this down. Got to make sure that you lock this down. Okay, bring it up and do another one. We're trying to get one of the valves. Keep going. There we go. So now we're starting to get the exhaust valve to open. Okay, yeah, that's good. Just stop there. So intake valve, because right now this valve is opening, the piston is on its way back up to get the exhaust charge out. So we're way away from the part where the intake valve, it's time for him to open. So yes, this is way out of whack because of all the new gaskets and everything else. Okay? So right now this is, it's just way out of whack. So get this loose, take up some of this tension on this, as well as this guy actually also has a new push rod, which maybe the ends are tighter and are not. So see right here, because the thread pitch on this is 1 millimeter per turn. So right here, that's almost too tight. Whereas that right there, that's all, it only takes a little bit. 120. I never tried that.